hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good, good. How are you doing?
I'm great. For those in the group, the way you say your name is Christiana, right?
Christiana, yeah.
Christiana. Okay. Christiana, welcome. So you've been in this group for how long now?
It's been a year and a half, I think, a little bit over. I joined in January 2023, so last year.
Okay, January 2023.
Hmm.
So it's been a year and a half. Yes.
Roughly.
Yeah. How did you get into digital altogether? Are you from this background?
Um, I that's a good question. Let's start from the start. I got into SEO just a year before I actually joined the group. I was trying for an alternative. Like my background comes from personal training. I'm a personal trainer by trade. During COVID, I shifted everything online, which got me a little bit more into marketing. I didn't really know much about it. But then I had a few friends in that space. So I was living in Thailand at that time, and I was in Chiang Mai specifically, where it's like a hub of SEO people.
Mm.
So I had a few friends that were in that space and they were like, hey, you can make money online. Try SEO. So I got into that space, learned a little bit like about SEO within that year. And then more and more because I was listening to different podcasts. And I think I stumbled over a podcast with Nick and someone else, and he was talking about rent and rank instead of rank and rent, which I was trying to do. Yeah. So, and that's basically, and then I just like started listening to all the podcasts and watched the videos on YouTube, and then I found the link to apply for the course, and here I am.
What made you jump into the course? I know I mean you had access to all kinds of SEO and all kinds of bells and whistles. What made you
Yeah.
go, "Oh, this is worth my
Um,
time and money?"
I did, well, actually, to be very honest with you, I saw that there was a course. They obviously didn't tell you how much it was, but I was really interested in how much it actually was. And I was like, I'll just go through the interview and then I can still say no and think about it if it's too much. And then I went through the interview process and then Kyle did I think, yeah, Kyle interviewed me and he was just like really pushing hard for the sale. And I kind of gave in the end. I was like, oh gosh, what did I do? No, but the reason why I was looking for help was technically because I wanted to learn more about sales. I knew how to do the SEO and like how to rank a website, how to build a website, but I'm an introvert by nature. I'm really bad at
Hmm.
like talking with people, and especially because I wanted to do SEO and sales in Australia, and me being I'm half German, half Thai. Like there was a few language barriers where I was a little bit afraid of,
Mm.
oh, like I don't know if you've ever heard a an Aussie tradie like talking, they talk really quickly and like it was
Yeah.
just like really intimidating.
Yeah, you don't have that thick Australian accent. You have a
Um,
very mild one.
I'm because I'm actually German.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. Yeah, you don't talk like Crocodile Dundee. It's weird. Um, I like it. So you started in the SEO. We're talking 2021, 2022, right?
Yes.
When like in the thick of COVID, because the personal
Yes.
training thing was getting tricky. And
Yep.
then as you're delving into SEO and all this digital stuff, you stumbled on like a podcast, and that intrigued you, and you got into it, and you're like, oh, I can rent websites. I don't just have to do SEO. I can do this too, and it just chimes with it, and you did it.
Yep.
So tell me about your first ever deal.
My first ever deal. Oh, that was actually really like shortly after I bought the course. So I started the course in January and then my first deal was in April and I couldn't believe it because it actually worked. Like if you actually And I know like everyone says it times and time again, just follow the course, follow the script, and it's honestly just working. I did the script. I was so nervous. Every time I was just thinking about I'm about to call someone. I'm about to call someone. My heart would just pound and I was on the verge of throwing up, and then someone would pick up the phone and I'm like with my high-pitched voice, I'm like, "Hi, I'm looking for a quote."
Yeah, been there, done that. I can
Um,
totally relate to that. Coming from a teaching background. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I actually it still terrifies me. I have to do like push-ups to do cold calling. Like I have to go and hype myself up. I have to go and like push-ups isn't my thing. Because yeah, I just have this phone phobia still. Like it won't go away. I deal with it
I
now. I used to
I
just
got it.
go
I got
around in
it.
circles and procrastinate like for 2 hours instead
Oh
of doing
gosh.
cold calls. But now it's like, yes, I'm still scared shitless, but pick up the phone, smile, and dial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
same
so
same
okay.
here. It's
So
still,
so you really get what is it, paralysis when you're about to call. So that's one thing. Okay.
yeah.
So you go past that and then you talk to this business owner and how does it go? Do you feel better afterwards after you're done with the call?
Um, like as soon because like as you can see, like as soon as you start talking to someone, you realize, oh, hey, it's actually not that bad. People are actually really nice. No one's gonna kill you. No one's gonna be like, oh, you're a bad person because you want to sell me something. Well, it happens too, but it's not, I think out of the every single business owner that I called, like out of, I don't know, out of the 50 people I've called, maybe one or two hung up on me. But like it's so rare. It doesn't happen. Most people are like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
sweetheart, don't worry about it. Not
Yeah.
interested. Okay, sweet, cool.
Yeah, especially if you have a script, like people can't tell you, no, why are you calling me with free jobs? No, I don't want you. Like, no one's gonna say that.
Yeah,
If they do, it's very rare and they're having an exceptionally bad day.
yeah,
Yeah. So, okay. So you go and get your first hook, right?
yeah.
As nervous as you were. And then you feed them a few leads.
Yeah, I feed them a few leads. Actually, the very first sale actually I got through a Facebook group to be absolutely honest with you. I
Mm.
did a few phone calls. I had a few hooks. I was about to do the sales call. I got ghosted a few times. And then I was like, okay, where else can I find business owners? And then I found this Facebook group with just like people looking for, I don't know, like recommendations and stuff. It was
Hmm.
in, oh gosh, it was in the pool niche, which I absolutely, if anyone's trying out the pool niche or considering it, please don't do it because like if I learned something over the past 2 years is stick with the things that already work. If they're
Right.
telling you this and that niche is it doesn't work or it's harder to do, there's a reason for it. So
Hmm.
I had a few websites already ranking in the pool niche and I was like, I'm gonna do it. When I got into the course, I was like, I'm gonna sell this, I'm gonna make money, I'll pay the course off. No matter what, I already got these websites. I'm not gonna just build a new concrete website.
Mm.
So I went into this Facebook group, asked for recommendations for like companies that could do these installations, got a recommendation, had a chat with him, sent him a few leads just over like text message and stuff, which took away the fear as well of calling. And then he was happy with the leads. And then we scheduled a sales call. And it was honestly, he jumped on the call. He's like, yep, just tell me a number. And I was trying to like go through the script and give the whole spiel of like here and there. He's like, yep, yep, sounds great. Sounds great. Just tell me how much it is. And then I told him and he was like, okay, cool, let's do it.
Is this the pool niche?
Yeah, yeah. That was my very first client.
And this is pool building, pool maintenance, pool, or is
Yeah,
it?
that's pool. Like
Okay.
pool maintenance, yeah.
Okay. And he made money with this gentleman?
Yeah, I made money with him. So the deal in the beginning was really great, but the problem as well was that based on my leads, he ended up setting up the company. So they founded a new company because
Oh,
I was sending them so much work, which
wow.
came with a cash flow problem. So we needed to renegotiate the terms. And then it was a flat fee plus a commission per every pool sold. Never
Wow.
go into commission because it's
Yeah.
just a fucking pain because you can't you can't trust people when it's about money, especially if you're making a bunch of money with it. They're
Yep.
always gonna just like sweep it under the rug, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just tell them up front, like,
Yeah.
I don't expect you to trust me, and I don't trust. I'm not doing commission with you. I've done it before. I've been burnt by even family members doing commission. So I don't even
Yeah.
think about commission. If you're just thinking about commission, I'm out. Um, yeah, I just tell them up front, you do not have any skin in the game if we do commission.
Yeah.
I am at your mercy with that sale,
So,
and also
yeah.
the headache because when I did commission before, it was terrible. You would need to meet with these people on a monthly basis and go through the crap and like, oh, this one is a tire kicker, this one is a refund, this one is, like you
Yeah.
don't have to deal with all that stuff. It's a flat fee. You're getting paid even less than the commission, but
Yeah.
the mind and mailbox money.
So so the deal was
Hmm.
a flat fee per month plus commission if they sold something, right? So the problem with that was because they were already paying a flat fee, they didn't like they were doing it on a recurring basis, and it took me a year to get rid of them because I just couldn't be bothered to say no to the free money, if that makes
I
sense, even
see. I
though
see.
it means not getting the extra commission, but at least they
Right.
were paying the monthly fee.
Yep.
So I was like, so it took me a year to say, hey, you know what? It's not working. I'm increasing my prices. If you don't like it, then that's fine. They didn't like it, they left, and I found
Yep.
someone else. So
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, it takes you a minute to pull the plug because you're like, well, I have this recurring money coming in. And I did that. I did the hybrid commission too, where I was getting like $200 a week to cover the ads and then
Mm,
commission on top of that because it was like a commercial grading and excavating and they do pools too. So it was like a big operation. I'm like, yeah, commission should make sense. I'll make a lot of money with these guys. Nope. No, made my
nope.
$200 a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's still an outstanding bill of whatever I know. Well, at least they admitted to those sales, and I'm like, oh, sweet, cool. Now
Oh,
you're owing me 12,000.
yeah.
But I don't know if I'm ever gonna see that money because there was no contract in place either.
Right.
Contract, another thing. Please do it. It's
Yeah.
so great.
Yeah. Guys, contracts and record your Zooms, record your meetings with these people. There's sales calls. I just say, Zoom is on auto. I have it actually on auto. When I have a call and it just starts recording right away. And they're like, why is it recording? I'm like, to cover you, to cover me, and I record all my meetings because I wanna get better. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Um, and I say, if you want a copy of the recording, I'll send it to you with the exclusivity agreement. Um, cool. So that's deal number one. It was
Hmm.
definitely fast, which is impressive. Like 2 months into it, you got your first deal. And it wasn't the best deal, but it was, you were receiving money. So that's the
Yeah.
point. Now, what were the deals after that? How did you get the next deals?
Oh, after that, it was just a mess of like things. If you when you think about the past 2 years, what I've been doing, because obviously you can't help but compare yourself to other people in the group who are like, oh, I'm making 40 grand this like I'm in year two, I'm making 40 grand. I'm in year two, I'm making, I don't know, 20 grand, 60,
Hmm.
70, whatever. And you go like, what the hell have I been doing? Like, why am I not making that amount of money? And for one, when I think back, I'm like, oh yeah, right. So after I did the first deal, that same company was like, oh yeah, we're gonna expand, we're gonna go in this city, in that city. And I just blindly trusted them. So I ended up building another website and another website that they couldn't afford.
Right.
So these websites were built Like took me, I don't know, 2, 3 months or so to build the websites. And then they were like, oh, we've got a friend in the demolition space. He needs a website. So I go ahead and build a
Oh.
website in demolition space. Do not go into demolition. It is a nightmare for ranking. And I thought, oh no, I'm a good SEO. I can do it.
Yeah.
Yes, you can do it. Took me 6 months.
Oh my gosh.
That guy didn't jump on board. Like that guy jumped on board 7 or 6, 7 months later after I actually was in contact with him and built the website.
Mm.
We actually ended up signing a contract as well. And then he pulled out a month later because he was like, he can't afford it. He was like, he's so sorry, he can't afford it. He can't afford to wait. I'm like, oh, great. You are such a waste of my time.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
and resources and money. I mean, it took you months to build that stuff. I did that before, and I was so pissed. I was so
yeah.
mad when they come back and they're like, "Oh, you built a website? Yeah, I went in a different direction." I'm like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you."
Yeah.
Um, uh, but I've learned my lesson, and the next time I did something smart, or I think it's smart. Someone approached me. They're like, "Hey, I know that you're doing lead generation for my friend here. Can you do me something in this city? I'm not here. I'm in the city. Can you make me something?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, absolutely. I take a $1,500 deposit, and yeah, we'll get right to work."
Mm.
He's like, "Oh, yeah, let me get back to you. Let me think about it." I'm like, "Yep, you do all the thinking you want. I'll be here. $1,500."
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
a
because he talked to the other guy, and the other guy said, "Hey, this guy just brought me leads for free. Like he went and did all the work and just brought me the leads, and you get to say yes or no." And the other guy was like, "Oh, maybe I should do that too and try it
yeah.
out." So when he heard $1,500, he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
you want to sniff out those troublemakers. You do want to. I mean,
yeah.
some people are trustworthy, and you could. I've done it, and it worked for sure with some people that I already had lead gens for. They're already paying me for a lead gen. I go build another one. I don't ask for money until I complete it. But if you just get the wood people out of the woodwork saying, "Hey, you did that for that guy. Can you do it for me?" And I'll just grab some leads and run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I usually so after that I told myself I'm never if someone's asking me I'm never gonna just build a website out of good faith. I'm
right.
gonna take the money, I'll run ads right away so I can at least show, hey, this is what I'm doing right now. We're working towards it. But yeah. So
Yeah. So
um
two
so
deals so far.
right.
Mhm.
The second deal fell through, right? Because he canceled after a month. I was like, oh well, at least like, I built out the website. If
Yep.
it's ranking, it's ranking. It's in a demolition space. That's worth quite a bit. I think like cost per click at the moment is like $40 or so. It's
Hmm.
ridiculous.
Yeah. But at least
Um,
you went through the process. That second deal is also a win because you saw it through. You
yeah,
concluded it. So that is a checked box for sure. Okay.
yeah. I had a shared deal with a friend. He was in the bus niche, like people getting leads for like, I don't know, going from A to B. Um, Also do not go into that niche because
Is it like
like
the limo niche, like busing?
no, it's just bus companies like bus charters and
Okay.
just like, which is also a horrible niche to be in because a lot of those companies they're used to commission based. They
Hmm.
usually like there's a lot of lead generation companies that create like sort of like an overall, you wanna hire a bus from A to B, you put in your details, and then as a business owner, you get access to a platform where you can pick and choose, basically like Angie's List, I guess,
Hmm. Yep.
just for the bus niche. It's
Okay.
horrible, and then they just get charged for um actually selling one.
Yeah. So there's a lot of moving parts. It's not a simple A to B business. It's
Yeah.
got all kinds of
But I
brokerages
got
and
I got a I got a deal for that one as well.
awesome.
That was a 6 months deal, and then the guy jumped off, just disappeared, ghosted me because he was owing me like half a month of invoice. So happens as well.
Hmm.
So another lesson learned, if someone just shut off the leads, someone's not paying, shut off
Yep.
the leads.
Yep. Which
Um,
months? So deal number three is 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
Okay.
Then I straight off, I think I watched a live with, oh, I forgot what that guy's name was. He was doing SEO. He scaled his SEO company through lead generation or something.
Okay.
And he was making a bunch of money SEO with doing SEO. And then in the back of my head, I went like, maybe I should do SEO. Maybe it's easier to sell than lead generation. So I I went off path, off track for like 3 months or so, trying to white label SEO.
Oh, white label SEO. Okay.
Yeah, I ended up white label. I found one deal. I got one guy, white labeled it. That lasted for 3 months.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, if you ask me what the hell have you been doing over the past 2 years? It's just like, left,
Actually,
right.
a
And
lot.
then
Actually, a lot. And that is
um
very typical. Um, it's a very typical path to take as lead generator. I went through the same thing. I'm still going through the same thing, actually. I'm trying not to stray. And I've been actually mentioning this in the group because I have all this SEO and all this web design, not only um, available to prospect, but also seeking me because I'm part of, the chamber and BNI and all this stuff. So this stuff comes to me and I have to make time for it, to close it properly and hand it over to the team, while also focusing on lead generation and not straying away from lead generation. Because when you stray
yeah,
away from lead generation, you think you're going to stray for, a week or two, and you go for 5 months. It's crazy. It's crazy when I
yeah,
get sucked into something. It's never like when I look back, I'm like, I thought that was just a couple of weeks. I
yeah,
I went full, 6, 8 weeks on this bullshit here, and I neglected my lead gen. So I totally relate to you because when you stray from lead generation, it's serious. Like you go and you come back and you're like, what the hell happened? I
yeah.
gotta get my shit together again. So yes, SEO and web design are great money, but serious distractors.
Mm, yeah. Um, yeah.
But
So
by the same token, though, I think you should give yourself a great, pat on the back because you've closed early, and every time you stuck to it, you closed. Like you actually have a track record that if Christiana checks these 5 boxes, she closes. And if you can
yeah,
implant that in your head, that confidence will. That's what I had to do. I had to go through my deals that I'm selling, and I'm like, Mahmoud, you've done this before, dude. Why are you being like this? Look at it. There's money that you were able to bring using this process. Just go and do it again. It's gonna suck
yeah.
again. You're gonna pick up the phone again, but it's gonna get sweeter from there. And
I
yeah,
think
yeah, go ahead.
I think the moment I started closing was when I didn't care. I still cared about the close, but I didn't care as much anymore. I was like in the mindset of, you know what, I've got a really great product, I've got a really great service, and trying to convey that to the business owner to say, hey, no matter what you decide, this is what I offer. I think it's a really great deal. I really want to help you, and I know it's basically a win-win situation. Because oftentimes, especially in the beginning when I went through the sales course, the biggest thing about the sales process that scared me was that, oh, I'm scamming the business owner. Like I'm selling him something that he actually doesn't want. But
Mm.
in the end, the service that we're providing is actually like they need that service. They are trying to get that themselves, but they don't know how to get it.
Right.
So we are basically just basically the outsourced marketing for them, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Um,
imposter syndrome is real. I agree with you.
yeah. And the moment where I let go of it and said, hey, like today we're just having a conversation, because oftentimes I did not make the deal in the actual sales call. I
Hmm.
made the deal 2, 3 weeks later when they
Oh.
had a thought about it. They said, no, I'm not really interested. And I said, okay, you know what? That's fine with me. I don't care. But if you are you interested in having like, I'll catch up with you in 3 months' time if you're still interested or not. Who knows if the website is still available in 3 months' time, but I'm just gonna check in with you. They're like, yeah, yeah, whatever. 2 weeks later, I get an email, hey, do you still have the website? Can we do the deal? And that happened. So that was another deal. So I don't know what we said, after the third deal, that was the fourth deal.
Hmm.
That was in March this year for one of the other pool websites that I built from
You
last year.
resurrected.
I was like, holy crap, like someone actually wants that crap still. So I sold him that. I was like, oh, and then you go back in that circle where you go like, maybe there's money in it after all. So I tried to sell the other one, and I did sell the other one. I was like, oh, I'm getting better at this sales thing. There's money in it. Um, no, but I promised myself after I sold these websites, which I did, and I got remember like the very first deal, I got rid of that person and I found someone else who paid triple as much as him. And I was so happy about it.
I do that on purpose now. Like if someone complains about the website not producing and they want out and everything, and they go out, for me to um, clean my head of all the things that they told me so they don't stick in my head, like your site
Mm,
doesn't pro because that stuff, even though you're like, yeah, whatever, it sticks and it affects you when people like conclude a deal and they don't want to do it anymore. It does affect you psychologically and it plays on your confidence. But what you want to do, it's a very good point. I'm glad you mentioned it, is go and increase your price by 100, 200 for the next guy. And when they pay it, you're like, that guy was an
oh,
asshole.
yeah, holy shit.
Yeah,
I'm
you didn't
actually,
want it. Yeah, like
yeah.
I just did that recently from and I've been doing it consistently from 500 a week to 750 a week because my ads are ridiculous anyways. I'm paying out the
Mm,
wazoo. So I'm like, why am I doing 500 a week? I'm gonna start doing 750 a week. And that's what I've been doing, and no one's batting an eye. Everyone's like,
yeah.
yeah, let's do it. And I just
Oh,
did it
that's
two
so
days ago.
good.
So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
You do what? So you're charging in USD, right?
correct.
Okay.
So yeah, because the ads are crazy, especially now that we switched to search, and I'm still working on the recommendations and toning those,
Mm,
dialing those ads. It's still expensive. So instead of making 15% margin, like and giving everything else to Google, like you can up those margins a little bit,
yeah,
30,
no,
40%.
absolutely.
Yeah, make some
Yeah.
money. So yeah, instead of 500. I do 750 and no one's got a problem with it because they got payroll anyways. At the end
Hmm.
of the week, they have to pay their staff. And I'm sure I'm the probably the least expensive of all their employees and the most valuable. So
Yeah.
yeah, that I like that a lot. Imposter syndrome will set in, even if you've been doing this for a while, guys. You will get imposter syndrome, especially when people that don't know anything about what you do start bad mouthing what you do. When they start
Mm.
saying, yeah, your leads are not good, I can get them better, and all that stuff, you might not agree with them, but that stuff will affect you for sure. So go get you a better business owner who can pay you better, and you will completely forget about that other dude. It's just
I
like
got,
dating. Someone treats you really bad and you're like, no, but I love them. But I love them. And you stick around and you stick around in that relationship and it's abusive and it's bad. And then the minute you go and start dating someone else, you're like, where have I been? I should have broken up with that dude a long time ago. Look how this
mm,
dude is treating me. Exactly like dating.
I got that with the leads as well, where the business owner was like, oh, you know what? Like the leads are not good. I need to talk to them for hours. Like I need to talk, like, I don't know, follow-up calls and whatever. I'm like, yeah, that's your freaking that's your job, like to call up these people. What do you want from me? I'm just giving you the leads, right? It's like,
Right.
oh, the leads are not good, the quality is not good. Okay, go ahead and run your ads yourself.
Hmm.
Like you're gonna get the exact same quality of person if you do it yourself. There's no
Yeah.
point.
I
Anyways,
like
the
your
funny,
answer. That is the
yeah,
right answer to say. Like I tell them two things when they say that the leads are bad. I say, first of all, um, there's intent. I don't do Facebook ads. I do Google ads. So if I send you someone, they're in the market. If you didn't get them, there's something wrong with sales. My job stops at marketing. As soon as I bring you the customer, your job starts from there. So the fact that you can't close, we should probably talk about sales. We should talk about your sales process. And that's when they go, I'll figure it out. Like no one wants to talk sales because no one is actually a sales master. When you start
mm,
to dig into their sales process, they're like, yeah, I follow up a couple times. Couple times. You mean 5 to 8 times? Because that's when the sale closes, between the
mm,
fifth and the eighth follow-up, not the second time. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I suck at sales. And then they realize it's them, not you. So yeah, I shut that shit down immediately. As soon as they start saying about talking about the leads are bad, I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. These are Google leads. I pay top price for these. I pay a premium for these. And these are people that are searching now, looking for you now. So if you can't catch someone who's looking for you now, there's a challenge. There's an issue with the sales process. And that's when
yeah.
they're like, oh, okay. It's my
And
problem.
the ridiculous thing is, like, so back then I was charging $1,000 per month,
Hmm.
for those leads, right? And the minute, I cut him off, he ended up setting up his own Google ads. You have a look at the ads, you're like, oh, that's ridiculous. That's so funny, actually. Um, Either he's running it himself, spending a ton of money and trying to figure out the learning curve, or he's outsourcing it to a different company, which the base minimum for their services is also starts $800 and up, a
Right.
thousand bucks plus the ad spend, right?
Yep.
Trying to get the exact same results,
Right.
just worse.
Yep.
Because
And they don't guarantee results. They just get paid the ad management fee, and then they have their ad spend, and yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But for
yeah,
us, like we've got skin in the game. We're partners. We're not just selling you leads. We're partnering on this thing. Um, yeah, those are all great points, Christiana. The imposter syndrome is definitely a big one. And you want to fight that by dating better business owners.
hmm,
If you think that a business owner is toxic and they give you all the downside and they take all the upside, and it's like a one-way relationship, it's time. It's time to cut. And I did that with the gentleman who I was doing a hybrid deal with. You talked about a hybrid deal. The guy who was paying me 200 a week. I had to pull the plug. I really loved the 200 a week because it was almost all organic. I paid Google maybe 100, I don't know, 50 to 100 bucks a week. So
mhm.
it wasn't bad at all. It was just a set it and forget it type deal. But I had to cut him loose because he was taking advantage, and I wasn't going to stand for that. He was paying zero commission. Like every month, he's like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Like every month he had an excuse. So by month two, like, yeah, if you haven't closed, this ain't for you. He's like, no, 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 I definitely want the leads. I'm like, so you want the leads so bad, but you can't close any. Hmm. You're either lying to me or something, or you really suck at sales. Which one is it?
Yeah,
And yeah,
same.
that was the end of it.
Same experience here. I was like, I sent you 1,000 leads over the past 10 months, and you're telling me you only sold 12 people because he was ready to pay me commission for 12 sales. And I
Mm.
was like, 1,000 leads. You're telling me that all the other leads are rubbish.
Mhm.
Okay, cool, cool. I think we're done here.
Yeah. So what is your next move? What kind of deal are you working on
Oh,
right now?
I've reached a milestone. That's what I wanted to tell you. I've
Yes,
reached a
let's hear
milestone. I
it.
was so happy
This
about
is
it.
what all these students have been waiting for the last 40 minutes, just that milestone.
That milestone moment. Okay, so I was watching, I think it was a couple of months ago, I was watching a live between Nick and Mike. He was actually my inspiration
Mike Vase,
because
he's a
Mike
gangster.
V. Yeah. So I was watching his live and Mike V, he was just sitting there. He's like, yeah, I just followed the process. And it made me so angry.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't get it. You've been in the course for 2 years. I've been in the course for 2 years. Why am I not making 40 grand yet?
I've been in the course for like four years, and then before that, I was in another course for like another 4 years. So I've been in this for like 8 years. I'm a
Yeah.
dinosaur.
And and in my head, I was just like, what? What is it? What is it? There must be a reason to it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it was in that life or in another life, but Nick mentioned, he quoted, I think it was Alex Hormozy, where he said, it's not about necessarily or not only about what the successful people do, but it's especially about what they don't
Don't
do
do.
and
Yeah.
you're still doing. And I was like, I'm still doing everything myself. I'm building the websites, I'm doing the SEO, I'm doing the link
Mm,
building, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm the bottleneck. I'm like, this is it. It's just, I'm so completely overwhelmed right now with work that I'm procrastinating it. And
mm,
I just can't get to do what's actually making money. Picking up
mm,
the phone and having conversations with people is what's going to lead into sales and what's going to bring money into the business. And I'm not doing that because I'm trying to save money. I need to spend money in order to make more money, right?
hmm.
So what I ended up doing over the past 2 months is I hired a content team. Well, I hired one content person, sorry. He's got his own team, but I hired someone who's writing the content and I've got a virtual assistant now who's doing like all the crappy small stuff that I really, really absolutely hate doing, like
Nice.
social media and stuff.
Since when
And then
did you get these people?
um so the content writer was a process over the past 3 months or so
Okay.
because I started out with just like slowly training people because it's a learning curve to outsource. It's a learning curve to actually outsource tasks and manage people and revise things and just
Hmm.
you're stepping from being the technician to the manager, um, which is completely different. And then just a month ago, I hired an SEO person to do all the technical work. So I'm basically training every single person how to do the job correctly.
I like it. Yes. I had to do the same thing. I had a project manager initially, and then I added no, actually, I had a content person, and I made her a project manager later. And then I started putting people under her. She's such a rock
Hmm.
star. She started as a content manager, and now she's a project manager. And
Hmm.
I was able to put a developer under her, another developer, content writer, and an admin to
Hmm.
help her. So I'm building. It's really funny because you think you're gonna just put a person in each slot, but then
Hmm.
you end up building this pyramid where you're building people up. You're bringing them in, giving them a bunch of skills. They go to the next phase, bunch of skills.
Hmm.
Oh, you're really good at this. You send them here, you send this person here, and then you keep building that pyramid. Yeah, I love that because it's going to free you in a way. You're going to be able to breathe and just pick up the phone and not worry about putting out fires because that
Tell me about it. Oh my gosh, I felt
kills
so
me.
much lighter. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I can actually
Right.
not think about it.
Big difference between being proactive and reactive. When you just get up in the morning and you just start reacting to all the bullshit being, sent at you, that is not a productive day. That is not a day that moves the needle, because people are pissed. Like, this customer is talking about SEO. This guy wants his website draft. I don't have to deal with any of that now because I have people in place that can communicate with the customers and keep them at bay while I do
Mhm.
my rank and rent. And that is a great move. I love that you went in that direction. and removed yourself as the bottleneck. You are 100% correct. You are the bottleneck. And I don't mean that in a mean way. We are the bottleneck because we're not an octopus. We don't have eight tentacles. We can't just be doing eight things at the same time. That's impossible. So when you get someone preferably better than you at that discipline, whatever it is. Like, for example, I learned how to build websites in Weebly, but I got a person that knows all of them. WordPress primarily, but they know web design really, really well. They did it for 6, 7 years straight. That's who I want on my team because they're going to do it better than I would. And same thing goes for everything. Every time you hire someone, make sure that they're better than you, but at the same time, train them the Cristiano way. Like my
Yeah.
SEO person, they're killer at SEO, but I'm like, that's great, but this is how we do SEO here. I love that you're a rock star, but if you can do SEO this way, that would be awesome. I'll take feedback. I'll take like this is new, this is novel, this is this. That's awesome. And we'll talk about it and include it potentially. But for now, please do SEO this way, backlinking this way. You have to set parameters because if you don't, they're just going to use their experience and they're just going to run with it.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
love it.
That's
I
what I
love that you got a team now.
thank you.
How are they vibing so far? How is it working? Doing
Well,
training?
how they like you mean in between each
Like
other,
yeah, like are
kind
they
of?
starting to work? Are you starting to
Not
produce something yet?
not yet,
Okay.
no. Because so what I've been, I said like that, like it's a learning curve to become a manager and to outsource and give people tasks and actually finding a way to communicate what you want them to do.
Yep.
So I'm still in the process of training everyone and just getting used to outsourcing,
Mhm.
revising work, making sure they're doing their work.
Right.
Um, but it's in the works. It's in the works to like kind of like integrate them together and then just like have them, I don't know, manage
Mhm.
things. And hopefully in the future, I can just be like,
Yeah.
yeah, good job. It's ranking. It's
Yeah.
great.
And out of all of that, the thing that made the most difference for me, not the web design, not the SEO person, the admin, because um, the batch list was the most important thing. Like the list that I call from is probably the most valuable thing, the most valuable sheet I own because it's got all the lead generation websites and all the potential businesses. So I don't have to do
Mhm.
research. I can just go and open the spreadsheet and start calling. I know the name, I know the phone number, everything's right in front of me, and I can just go down the list and call. Before, I had to spend a couple of hours doing homework, doing research,
Mm,
build the list, then start calling. And by the time I start calling, I'm like, I'm tired. I'm gonna go, snack or whatever. And then there goes half a day. Now I can wake up in the morning, half my team is in the Philippines. So when I wake up, a lot of boxes have been checked while I was sleeping, and I can just get to work. Yeah, removing yourself from the bottleneck is crucial, crucial. And you will feel it. You will feel how much your business will start to build up faster and faster because you just
yeah.
cloned yourself.
So I'm super excited because last week, like last Friday, was the first time where I was like, okay, I'm set. All of my websites are in maintenance mode. I have 5 clients, by the way, right now.
Sweet.
3 of my deals went through in August out of a sudden. Just like everyone decided at the same time that they wanted to work with me. All the contracts and payment was made. And I was like, oh wow, this was a really successful month. Um, and yeah, just like, and then I hired this SEO person, and 3 weeks into the month, he's like, "Yep, I'm done." I'm like, "What? What do you mean you're done?" He's like, "Yeah, I did, I did the work. Like, I'm done. We're ready for like the next website." Oh, oh, sweet. That's cool.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm super excited. So I started running the ads for the next I'm stepping out of the pool niche, by the way.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I thought
I'm
you were
done
gonna
with
add
that
more.
circle. Unless someone pays me, because there's this one BO who said that he wants to expand or whatever. Like, okay, cool. Here's my price. If you want to do that, let me know. He goes, okay, that's really expensive. Can I let you let you know next month? Sure, take your time.
Sure, I'll be here.
Um, so yeah, hopping into the next niche, super excited about that.
Awesome.
Um,
How,
yeah,
are you going to start with one website or bulk? One website at a time.
I wanna say right now one website at a time because this month I want to focus on just getting up one more website, running the ads. When I sell it, I build out the websites and creating the process and the systems at the
Mhm.
same time because I don't have that at the moment.
Right.
And I just know myself, I get overwhelmed really easily. As soon as there's more work, I'm like, my head is in all directions and I'm like, I don't know
Mhm.
what to focus on next. And then I just break down.
Right.
Um, so I do the system and processes first, and then until I get used to that, and then I'm gonna go
Full
build the
bore.
shit out of it. Yeah.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Let's see if there's any questions here. We got Ravella. Oh, I actually have six people on here. Thank you for joining, guys, wherever you are. They're probably a bunch of Aussies. We got Ravella. He says, did you get any compensation? Oh, he's talking about the commission. She got the ad money, she got the reoccurring, but he only closed 12 out of 1,000 customers. So she did make a little bit of money. Let's see. What is white label? Yeah, can you explain to Ravilla what white labeling is?
Okay, white labeling. Back then, when I found out what it was, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I don't actually need to do the SEO work. So white labeling is basically you go to an SEO company, just like, anyone, like I found two in Australia just in the neighborhood and was like, hey, um, you do SEO, right? So can I just send you my clients and you do the SEO work, but I stay in contact with the client so the client thinks I'm doing the SEO work, but really I'm outsourcing it. So I'll pay you whatever fee you want, and then I'll just put my commission on top, and the client never hears of you, but you do the
Yep.
work for them. That's white labeling.
Yep, that's exactly it. So basically, if you don't have the resources to do SEO, you reach out to an SEO company and they do SEO under your brand. So the reporting and everything that's going to the customer is still me, but I have a shadow company doing SEO behind the curtain. That's basically what it is. I actually been approached to do white labeling. So there's these solopreneurs. Uh, I had one locally reach out to me. He's like, "Hi, I do all this stuff, but it's just me. So I have a bunch of companies working for me. Would you like to do some white labeling for me?" So I don't know. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. We'll see if I do that or not. But it is tricky, you know. It is tricky in some instances, but it can be a really good passive income for some companies. When I started, I actually hired um, one of my friends. He was already doing SEO for a while, and I hired him. And like you said, I just put my commission on top of that, and we did that successfully. But it was just like it wasn't streamlined, and it was a little bit of back and a lot of back and forth. Like I talk to the customer, I go talk to him. It's like a t telephone, the game of telephone. So we didn't have a good system, and within 5 months, I think we broke it off. But yeah, if you have a good system, it can be a really good money maker because you don't have to do any of the work. Cool. Any other questions? Oh, here we go. Sammy is in. Hey, Sammy. I'm starting a consultancy service that'll offer AI automation for SMEs. Please advise how rank and rant and lead generation can aid in this startup. Oh man, I feel like that's a social media play. I'm starting a consultancy service. Yeah, you just want to, I wouldn't spend any money on it. I would probably not do lead generation. It's not like a phone-driven service, so it doesn't fit the bill. Um, yeah, so I would definitely not. think about it in a lead generation play, but more like a branding play. If you're going AI automation and SMEs, just build a logo, build a one pager site, and start posting on Facebook about what you do. I think that's the best way to go about it. Um, what else? Excuse me. Do you do you need a call center? No, I've never used a call center.
What's the
Uh,
call center for?
like I'm thinking maybe he thinks like for the lead generation sites, like someone to pick up the phone calls for the business owners, because you can do that.
Mm,
You can hook up your call rails to like a call center or whatever, and they take all the calls, they manage them for you, this company, that company, and they have VAs that take the call and do the scheduling and all that stuff.
mm.
Actually, AI can do that now. There's like an app that can take
Oh,
calls.
really?
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
I think that's what he means by do you need a call center?
No. I would just keep it honestly, like just plain and simple, just as little people as possible. Stick to the niches,
Yep, absolutely.
forward the calls.
The process is very simple. Every time I complicated it, I lost a deal. Every
Yeah.
time I got creative and I thought, hey, this guy is just local. I know him personally. I don't have to go through the script. I lost a deal because
Mm.
you can't do that. Even if it's your own dad, you sit him down and you go through the script, plain and simple. Um, yeah, guys, any other questions? Let's see. I'm pretty impressed with the turn up at 7 a.m. EST. That's why I was thinking maybe these guys are all Australian. I don't know. No, Ravilla is from Pennsylvania actually, and Sammy, I don't know where Sammy is from. Okay, guys, any other questions so I can let Christiana go to bed actually.
Yeah, it's my bedtime.
Yeah. Anything
Uh,
you wanna share with students before you part?
Anything that I want to share. What are the most common questions in the group actually?
One of the common questions. How can I do this fast? How can I scale this fast? I don't have time. I want to do this. I want to make $100,000 in 1 year.
Oh, me too. I think that would be awesome.
So
I
what would
think
you advise me?
everyone that you see that is able to actually scale within a really, really short period of time. As said, like there's some people within a year or two or three, they scale up to 60K through the moon, like they're like absolutely smashing it. You're sitting here and you're like, where the hell am I going wrong? You need to remember that these people probably have a background in one of the business, like in one part of the business. Either they know how to do the SEO or they know how to do the Google ads. Maybe they've been in a business before, which I think that's the biggest giveaway. If you know how to run a business, you can scale a business really easily, which
Hmm.
I didn't know how to do it. So in order to scale a business, you need to understand the the systems and processes that needs to be in place to actually be able to scale it. Because if you're starting on the bottom and trying to figure out how to set up Stripe, then you don't know anything about business, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because it's not
Absolutely.
you setting up Stripe or building the website, it's who can you find to build that for you.
Hmm. Yep. What I like about, I believe in like success leaves clues. And what I like about Michael Vay and Ryan Dalton, who are absolute rock stars in lead generation, is that they have systems. They all have
Yeah.
systems. If you notice, they're all detail oriented, process oriented, which is not my strong suit. I love that my project manager is. She's kind of like the chaos to the organization to my chaos. Um, but yeah, what I noticed with Ryan Dalton and Michael Vay is that they're very process driven. And that is it. That's the secret sauce is if you stick to the process and rinse and repeat as fast as you can, That's how you get to 60 grand and 100 grand. And that's what Ryan Dalton was able to do. He's just got one process. He really polished it, and that's it. And then he kicked back, and things are just rolling now. So,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely want to walk in his footsteps. Yeah, that's the only thing that I can come up with is that they polished the process. They didn't complicate it. They didn't get creative. They stuck to one process, but they just dialed it really, really well.
And
And
what I understand now it is as well is we've got the process, especially through the course, right? But then
Mhm.
also the systems about like every aspect of the business. Let's say a system of how to build a website, the system
Mhm.
of how to rank it, of how to create the content, how to keep it in maintenance, and
Yep.
have different SOPs for every step of the business and outsource it.
Correct.
And if someone falls off the wagon, if you lose a staff, you can just replace them because you have the SOP in place.
Hmm.
So it doesn't fall back onto you.
Right. Oh, I wanted to give you one tip because you're building your team right now, something that really
Yes.
helped me accelerate the process of training. So what I would do is I would just, initially we just write emails, right? Like, hey, good morning. I hope you're well. I know that you're working on this week. And like, instead of doing that, now I just turn on my screen recorder. Like if I want to send any message, I turn on my screen recorder and I start talking. And that has accelerated. I don't know. I kind of know why, but it has accelerated our processes. It has eliminated a lot of the errors that happen
Hmm.
because my staff, if they have a question about a certain project, before coming to ask anyone, they go and watch the recording
Hmm.
of that project. Let's say, for example, we're meeting with they met, my project manager and my web developer met with a new client yesterday. I took the deposit the day before. They met with him and they recorded the meeting. So I can go and
Hmm.
watch it right now and see everything about his website. And then they're going to use that as a resource throughout the entire build. And then when they bring him draft one, they're going to record that meeting too. And he's going to go, I like this, I like this, I don't like this. And everything's recorded. They put that
Mm.
aside and they use that as a reference. If I'm trying to train something, I record. If they're trying to communicate with everyone, they record. Everything's recorded because there's no margin for error. There's no, I didn't read that part of the email. I've completely missed it. There's none of that. And since we use Loom, it comes with AI, so everything's scripted.
Hmm.
So you can just read the synopsis of that video and be like, oh, okay, it talks about this. Okay, I'll put it here. So recording instead of emailing has been super instrumental. I want you to use it religiously.
I like that. Thanks. Thanks for
Yep.
that tip.
Let's say, for example, you want to talk about 5 things today. That's five 60-second videos.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing, here's the task that I want you to do for this. Here's that training you wanted for that. And you're just handing over links instead of sending emails.
Hmm.
Yep. And that's been
Cool.
very instrumental. So I hope it helps you too.
Definitely helpful.
All right.
Thanks.
I don't see any other questions here. Ryan King, thanks for jumping on. I don't see any other questions. So yeah, let's wrap it up. I appreciate you, Christiana. I'm definitely looking forward to your next deal. I want you back after your next deal. So keep us
Yeah,
posted in the
next
group.
week. Are you ready?
Sweet. Okay. You have a week. Yeah, next week you have something
No,
set up?
no,
Okay.
no, no.
Okay. But just
I
keep
was
us
joking. I
posted.
was joking.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. If you just keep us posted when you hook them, when you hook a nice business owner, tell us about it, post in the group, keep us posted on your progress because yeah, this has been an awesome live and I definitely want to see what's next.
I will. But
Awesome.
you can be for sure. I feel just thinking about it right now that I need to call someone tomorrow. I feel sick to the stomach right now.
I'm about to go call some people right now, so pray for me. All right, I appreciate it, Christiana. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you
me.
guys. Thank you for jumping on. Bye.
Bye.